Nothing disparaging on take 6.
There we go. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to Have You Seen with Nick and Lance. This month, my pick, and I gave you a month to watch Jennifer's Body. It's on HBO's Max, so hopefully you did.
Last night.
Well, I mean, hopefully you did, because we will be talking about Jennifer's Body.
Boy, will we.
So this was a movie that came out in 2008, 2009. Wait, let me double check there. 2009.
9? Okay.
And it was severely mismarketed, and it was pushed out towards people that it wasn't meant, like, this isn't the audience for the movie, and it did horribly. And then I think over time it has kind of found its audience and kind of gotten a bit of a spike in popularity.
So I think it was also Megan Fox had the meltdown with Michael Bay, because I think these movies came out right after she did the Transformers movie, where she he heavily sexualized her in the Transformers movie, and then she was just like, that movie, it fucking blew, and I think she basically blasted him, and probably the Transformers fans were like, man, fuck her, but also fuck him for making a terrible movie.
Yeah.
So, it just, yeah.
So, but we'll go ahead and give our scores, and then we'll kind of hop into it, assuming that you have seen it, because, you can go watch it on HBO Max. I'm pointing over towards the TV, like you can see. The HBO Max is over there.
It's over there.
All right, Lance, on a scale from 0 to 10, what would you give Jennifer's Body?
I would give this movie, I'd say a 6.
Okay, it's a little higher than I initially anticipated.
Okay. You thought I'd be right in the middle, huh?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd be super jazzed about this one or not.
Okay. So Nick, on a scale from 0 to 10, what would you give this movie?
I also think it's a 6.
6? Okay.
I think it is a pretty good movie.
So I shot one over, you shot one under. Got it. All right.
We average our scores together,
6.
and we nailed it.
Boom. We'll take it.
So, spoilers, I suppose, just because we're going to be talking about the movie itself.
And we're going to go into the body in depth.
Yes. So this movie was essentially marketed towards teenage boys because, ooh, Megan Fox. And then it was shat on because people were like, hey, Megan Fox. And I don't know why people hate like Megan Fox, because she was hot and objectified in Transformers. Therefore, people just fucking hated her.
Well, like I said, it's like I remember she, in an interview, basically blasted Michael Bay and blasted those movies.
Because she's been treated like shit.
Yes.
By Hollywood, by like critics, by watchers of movies. People just shit on her, and I don't know why.
So, I do remember there was the interview that came out where she blasted Michael Bay.
Yeah.
And then she blasted the movie, which to me was kind of confusing. So I went and saw the first Transformers movie. I'm a Transformers fan. I will be for life. I'm hoping that my son picks up on it too. How can you hate puzzle boxes that turn from robots to fucking cars? They're fun. They're fucking Rubik's Cubes that turn into cars. Anyways, I loved and hated the first movie because if you're going to make a fucking Transformers movie, have more Transformers in it. It's like, I don't give a shit about the humans and their drama. I want to see the fucking robots. But it was weird. It was a weird dichotomy where it's like we hated the movie, but we were happy there was a movie.
Sure.
So
you wanted to see the Transformers on the big screen, and this is what you got. It wasn't exactly what you wanted, but at least it's there.
Well, it was definitely a negotiation because I remember, I think they got Hugo Weaving to do the voice of Megatron, and people were like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, like, they were going to get someone else to do, like, the voice of Prime, and, like, there was a petition launched to get fucking, it's late, and I'm blanking
Yeah,
on his name.
I'm not going to be able to tell you.
I think it's Peter Cumming. But anyways, oh my god, I should probably almost like you delete this in case an errant track fucking Transformer fan comes across and they're like, this motherfucker doesn't even know.
To be fair, it's midnight.
Yeah, it's
late. It's midnight 30.
But anyways, it's. I think she got a lot of unneeded criticism.
Yeah,
because she's a pretty girl and she's a good actress.
Yeah, I think she was really good in this movie.
I think so too.
And I think it's I don't know if it's the way she talks that people kind of like, because she's kind of got that California accent or whatever. And I think people hear that and they're like, dumb valley girl or something like that. I don't know. And she's attractive, and I don't know if it's a matter of like, attractive girl from the valley, and I don't know.
She just, I think the thing that I'm not super attracted to her only for the fact of
She's pretty. She's not my type.
Yeah, no, and that's what it is. She's just not my type, but
she's super pretty.
Yeah, she's pretty. I mean, God, in the Transformers movie, she was like made her all sweaty and shit, and she was working on cars and just like
super objectified. Yep.
Yeah, super objectified. I mean, they did the right things in that movie to make young boys get a little hot under the collar.
Yeah. And then she was cast in Jennifer's Body, and I think the marketing team was like, "Oh, Megan Fox, in the Transformers movie, she mocked boys hot under the collar. Therefore, we're going to market the movie like it's that."
And it's kind of more of a girl-oriented movie.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, this is for younger women, and essentially, because I mean, it's about assault. Like,
yes.
Jennifer was abducted by a bunch of guys a guy that she was interested in, and they took her into the force and fucking murdered her. And then when she came back and got revenge on boys.
Well, it's like, also keep in mind this movie, I think it was produced by Diablo Cody. And
she was the writer.
Yes.
I think maybe the producer too, but she was the writer.
Yeah, and Diablo Cody does a lot of the
she did Juno.
Girls being in a position and taking back power. Which is fine. Yep. She definitely has a way of writing the movies that she writes. But honestly, when you asked me to watch this one, I was kind of like, fuck.
Well, yeah, I think even last thing we ended it with, like, I guess we're doing shit movies now, and I didn't want to tell you, like, no, this movie's good.
Well, yeah, we try not to color each other's opinions of stuff before we go into it. But I also remember when that movie came out, I'm human.
Yeah.
And I listen to what is said when stuff comes out, and that it can color my point of view.
And the trailers are trash. Like, they show the trailer for what the movie is, and you're like, I don't want to watch that movie.
Well, it's like, I'll be honest with you, while the movie was interesting, and it had unreal amounts of star power in it, which really surprised me. When J.K. Simmons showed up the first time, I was like, hey, it's my boy. What the fuck is going on with that wig? And the hand. What's going on with the hand?
And it's more of like, it was a kind of a throwaway joke, but he kind of comes in and is like, I've seen my fair share of tragedy. And you can see like the burn marks on his neck.
Yeah.
He's missing a hand on that arm.
Yeah.
So it's just more of like, this movie's a comedy, and I don't think it was marketed as a comedy. It's a movie for young women. It wasn't marketed towards young women.
And I mean, it was, and for the horror elements that it did have in it, it had some great horror elements.
Like
to it.
the scene in which Jennifer shows up at Needy's house, like, that's kind of legitimately creepy.
Yeah.
Like, she turns around and she's just like covered in like blood all over the mouth, bloody,
and does that vacant smile at her.
She does a great, like, just kind of evil murder smile.
Like, no one was home, and she just is that big grin, and I was like,
mouth full of blood.
Yeah, and like I was just kind of like, okay, that's
it's good.
Yeah, there's nothing behind those fucking eyes, and it's just like Cheshire grinning at her.
Yeah.
And then like it snaps to, and it's a fucking predator.
Yeah, and then she goes and tries to eat human food.
Are you scared?
Vomits up evil, decides that she can't, and I think the thought was to predate on Needy, and doesn't, because, friends. And presumably there's like some sort of that through the very beginning of the movie, you can kind of see like there's something between them. And she doesn't want to murder Needy because, friend and maybe love interest.
It's like it seems like she kind of like needed that boy energy, because like she kept eating the dudes.
Yeah. But was she eating the dudes because she needed to eat dudes, or was it just because she wanted to strike back at essentially girl empowerment, kind of take back the power? So
because Diablo Cody wrote the movie, then that was definitely the point. But boys are also a super fucking easy target.
Oh, it's so funny. She would walk up, like the scene in which she approaches the football player or whatever. I like that scene because she's walking up, and you can see, like, from his point of view, she's walking up, and then it cuts to him, and she comes in from this side, and and for a second he's like, and then his guard is down, like she's immediately like, let's go to the forest and screw around, and he's like, I'm on board.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and then she, like, with the other guy, Cody, I think was his name.
Yeah.
Well, the goth kid or whatever, and she's like, meet me here, and then he's driving around all happy, and he goes down the neighborhood where none of the houses are complete another fucking blackness, and she's like, well, Megan Fox is in this house. I guess I'm gonna crawl through the fucking window.
I thought the same thing. It was like, how fucking desperate are you, like, to basically get your rocks off to where it's the second I entered that fucking neighborhood, I would have been like,
let me call her. No, let me call her up. Are you here? Because again, it's presumably you're a kid. It's like, oh, well, I'm not gonna go to her house. We're gonna find some fun, weird place to explore and screw around or whatever. Because you're young, adventurous kids or something.
but she didn't preface it that way.
No, she didn't. She's come over to my house and we're going to watch Aquamarine, a girl who's half sushi.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, but like still, even then, it's like, don't get me wrong, I've done a lot of dumb shit to get laid in my past, but it's like, I think even in my teenage years, even with Megan Fox, if I drove into a fucking neighborhood like that, where it was like one fucking house, just I've got a thing with going to abandoned areas, to like, because people fucking murder you. So,
but no one expects that from Jennifer, which I think is kind of the point.
yeah, I guess that's true.
And
but,
like the football player's fucking gigantic next to her, and then I mean the other one's supposed to be kind of the goth dark boy, and maybe this would be like the fun experience for someone who's all about darkness and kind of that soul searching stuff.
So just because I'm thinking about it, I don't want to forget about it, because you talked about how she was coming in from one side of the field and then she dropped in on the other side. One of my favorite shots of this movie
It's probably one of mine too.
was when the guy was walking across the field with like, in the suit heading to the prom,
Yeah.
and you see her way the fuck in the back,
And then she fades.
and then she kind of fades a little bit, and then she's half the distance to him, and then it's like she's still way the fuck back, and then the shot just kind of turns to the side, and she's right up on him.
Yeah, and I think that's one of my favorite ones.
Me too.
Just because you're watching it and you're just kind of like, is that her? Oh shit, she's close. And it's kind of like one of those things that like blink and you'll miss it. The figure of her in the back kind of like turns into her head as her body fills out in the shot, and it's fucking great. I love that shot.
Yeah, I went back and watched that shot 3 times just to see, like, because I wanted to see if she like did the whole and like ran up on him, but no, it was kind of like she materialized, and like when I saw that, I was just like, okay, that's fucking legit. But it's like that's kind of the only powers she kind of had, other than
She could fly or
hover.
hover.
It's not that it's not that impressive. She could hover.
I like that line too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, you could fly 2 seconds. She could hover. It's not that cool or whatever.
And then Jennifer's just like, oh fuck you, bitch.
She could take everything away from me.
Yeah. But yeah, I did not expect to like this movie as much as I did. And then it had like the moments that just made me laugh, like when young Neil showed up. I forget the actor's name, but he played young Neil in Scott Pilgrim, and I was like, oh fucking great. He has a lead part in this movie. Good for him.
He was the one that played Chip, so Johnny Simmons.
Yeah. Okay. And then you had J.K. Simmons show up, where I thought that was great.
Yep.
You had Amy Sedaris show up
As Needy's mom.
Yeah, I thought that was great. You had fucking what's his face, the guy in Parks and Rec.
Oh, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Even though it was like a throwaway.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that Jennifer had been with before in the bar.
Yeah, apparently it's the guy that made her sit on a bag of peas for a couple of days or whatever. But yeah, like whenever he turned around and I saw it was Chris Pratt, I was like, holy shit. And I immediately went back and looked at the IMDb, and the time he did that movie, it was the same time that the first season of Parks and Rec came out.
Yeah.
So it's like, he wasn't a household name in the first season of Parks and Rec, but by the second season, he was a household name.
Not household, but he was definitely picked up a lot more.
But like, hey, it lends more credibility to Parks and Rec. Because he was like a cop, like he was a cop wannabe. That was the beginnings of fucking Burt Macklin.
It was.
Yeah, so like, you got to see the origin story of Burt Macklin in fucking Jennifer's body. It was great. But yeah, like whenever he showed up on there and he's like, she was a cop, in training or whatever. And I was just like, holy fuck.
Oh yeah. He turned around and I'm like, oh, shit. That's how I watched this movie probably back in like 2012, 2013, something like that, a long time ago. It's one that my brother picked up as just kind of like, let's fucking watch this movie or whatever. And we threw it in expecting it to be like bad, because that's kind of like the way marketing kind of led it to be like, it didn't look like something we'd enjoy. And then we finished it and was like, that was a pretty good movie. It was dark comedy. I think the comedy bits were pretty good. And I think the occasional bits in which they did horror was pretty good too. Like the part where she shows up like with Needy, like we said, was good. Her fading in, that's good. When she was killing the goth boy, and you kind of had the silhouette of her going down, biting, and coming back up, and just getting that spray of blood out.
It was pretty good.
It was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like when Needy like looked over at the chair, and like you had the football player who's empty, and then Jennifer doing like that ghoul,
crouch on him.
Yeah, that ghoul lean on like above. That was cool looking.
It was dope. I did not like the way she looked when she had like mouthful of fangs though.
Yeah, it's bad CGI.
Yeah, because she had like the elongated jaw and like she just looked odd to me. Now, don't get me wrong. If that turned around if I was out in the street right now and it was like, "Rah!" I'd be like, oh, that looks very, very real, and I'm super scared. But like, it didn't look great to me.
It didn't mesh super well, I guess, technology wise. I think if it was done a little bit better, it being a elongating mouth probably could have been fine.
Yeah, but like the story for what it was, I was really kind of taken aback by how much I actually enjoyed the flick. I liked Amanda Seyfried's evolution in the movie, how she went from a timid thing to like the kicker, you know, like I thought that was interesting because she was the way they started the storyline with her being in the penitentiary and her doing what she was doing. Like, I still don't really understand why she was floating when she was doing the meditation.
It was she got bit by Jennifer, and supposedly some of the demonic ability
was bleeding over into her.
Transferred over into her. Hence why, like, when she was walking out of the penitentiary, she just, like, walked through the fence.
True. Okay.
And how she was able to, like, essentially rip her way out of the window that was way too high and stuff like that. And how she could go and murder a full band of drugged up guys, presumably, but still murder 5 guys on her own.
Right. Yeah, I did not expect the storyline to be as full as it was and interesting. I'll tell you, one of my other parts that made me laugh out loud was they kept talking about, this band, what was it?
Low Shoulder.
Low Shoulder. Oh, and they've got that song Through the Tree. She's like, that song is not that good. And then when she gets in the car for the first time to like rush off, and then the song is like, Through the Tree, and she would, and like to fucking change the station. Like, I got a big laugh off that part. I thought it was hilarious.
I also like the scene when J.K. Simmons like, they're going to donate 3% of the proceeds. And like, 3%? What about the other 97%? It's like, the song's not even that good. Yeah,
and that other girl like jumped up in her face. She's like, "Oh, they're fucking fantastic!" And it's like, "Yeah, no, they're not. They're really not that great." No. And that band they were terrible. Like that dude was classic Bond villain, fucking terrible.
They're people willing to sacrifice a woman for like the stupidest reason. I mean, like, do you know how hard it is to be an indie band? We got to murder a virgin so we can break out. Like, what fucking dipshits? I mean, they're assholes. But it's funny.
But that dude was like a cut above asshole. Like, that dude was so I don't give a fuck. It was like comical.
Yeah, well, it's like the bar's burning down and he walks out and being like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Y'all want to go back to my van where it's safe? Yeah. And it's like, I thought, you comfy?
It sounds like she's nibbling.
Hal Frick, you okay, baby?
Shift. Continue.
Anyways, it's just he was comically over the top.
Yeah.
With how evil he was. Even the part where it was like Jennifer got into the van and they're all doing the whole fucking like super rapey stare at her, and like as he's shutting the van, he's like,
yeah,
you know.
I thought it was funny, like when they're driving away or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, where are we going?" He's like, "You know, you don't have to speak if you don't want to." I'm like, that's so fucking douchey thing to say. She's like, "Where are we going?" It's like, "Oh, you don't have to talk if you don't want." Like telling her to shut up and then acting as if it's her choice not to talk.
You have the right to remain silent, and we kind of hope you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just looking around all the satanic books around and all this sort of stuff, and he's like, "Oh my God, are you gonna like take me somewhere and like rape me or whatever?" He's like, "God, I hate girls." It's like, what a fucking dick.
Yeah.
That like near the like, what I kind of wanted in this movie was for Jennifer to go back and get him, but I guess they got theirs at the end, so that's okay. But I kind of wanted to see Jennifer get revenge on these dipshits.
Mm-hmm. They definitely got their just desserts, because that was actually like fun watching the murder scene at the end of the movie. I thought that was actually a good touch.
And I also just liked how fucking over the top they were when they were killing Jennifer, and it's kind of like, I mean, we might write a song about that, about this, and as a fan, I bet you'd appreciate that.
Yeah, that dude was that was a bit much.
Yeah. And then murdering her and starting singing Jenny or whatever.
Yeah, Jenny, I got you. See, I actually thought that part was pretty funny.
It's funny.
But anyways, yeah, I did not expect to like this movie as much as I did. I gotta admit, like, when the tone of the movie kind of threw me off in the beginning of it, because it was like, do you want to be a horror movie or do you want to be a comedy movie? And then once they got a rhythm, after, like, she became the monster or whatever, and they started, like, going back and explaining some of the stuff that was going on, I was on board.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, at the end of it, when it said Diablo Cody, I was like, this is something that is right up her alley. I get it. So,
another cameo we missed near the end of the movie. Lance Hendrickson. He was the driver that picked up Needy.
You're right.
When the guy with the hat, he's like, "Where are you going?" Oh, did you not catch that when he?
No, you're right. I remember that now. Oh shit! There's another famous Lance in there. Good for you, buddy. I would not have gotten there with Bishop. I'd have been like, nope, just go ahead. I don't trust androids. Just go ahead. But yeah, it's I thank you for suggesting this one. I thought that I thought you were screwing me over.
No, we want to play your old score game since it's my movie. I get to be in charge.
Yeah, sure.
What do you think it's got on IMDb?
This is the point number.
Yeah, it's one number point.
I'll give it a 4.6.
5.4.
Okay. All right.
I think the popularity of it has picked up a little bit over time.
Good.
Because when it came out, lambasted. Nowadays, I think it's
okay to like it again.
It's starting to get cult status.
It's like 9/11. You don't like it at first, and after 10 years, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I guess we can make jokes about it to try and heal.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think the critics gave?
3.6.
Is that 36%?
Yes.
46. They liked it a little better.
Interesting.
What about the audience?
47.
35. They were not fans. Because again, I think this movie was such piss poor marketing that, like, you have the people who are trying to sell a movie don't fucking get who it belonged to.
Well, I don't think they watch the movie. I think they get clips. I think they get, like, the broad strokes, and they're just like, show me, like, the most adrenaline shit, and show me, like, the most cleavage, and I'm just gonna drop all of that in a fucking thing. But, like, the one thing I definitely wanted to say was Amanda Seyfried was fantastic in this movie.
Absolutely.
She was so good. I've never had a problem with the actress. I know she's a badass, but it's like one of the first movies I ever saw her in, I guess, was the movie with Lindsay Lohan. I think it was Mean Girls.
Oh, Mean Girls, okay.
Where she plays like a vapid airhead. And watching her in this movie, it was just kind of like, holy shit.
She's good.
Yeah, she's a pretty amazing actress. But yeah, it's just...
This movie's good.
Yeah. You hooked me up on this one.
And I think I don't think we're necessarily the audience for it. I think it's probably... We watch it and it's good. I think there are some, like, women out there or whatever who would watch it and this would speak to you a lot more. Because I think there's a lot of just sort of men talking down to women that they probably understand a bit more. Because even Chip being, like, the good boyfriend, when Needy was like, hey, all this shit's happening, he's like, well, I believe you, but I don't believe it.
I think you need help.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, that would be like... That is the most realistic response. Like,
for demon, sure. But I think it's more of, like, demon as metaphor.
Yeah, but it's like if you came over to my house right now and you walked in and you were like, Lance,
I saw a demon.
I need to talk to you, but, like, there's this demon and look at all these fucking books that I found at my local library and look at all this shit. I'd just be like, yeah, man, no, I get it. Do you need to talk about something? You know, like, I would immediately go to something's wrong. How can I help my friend? But, like, she was ditching him for the prom, where it's like, I need to keep an eye on my friend.
Yeah, something crazy's going on.
Yeah.
And his response was, but I paid $12 for this corsage or whatever.
Yeah, but, like, also her response was, don't come to the thing.
Yeah.
you stay safe.
You stay home. There's some crazy shit going on.
Yeah, but like it's like I bought you the corsage. Oh, you paid $12 for it. Well, I mean,
he's kind of he's the nice guy, but also he's not. I don't know. He's still kind of not really in it.
He's kind of a sad sack to me.
Yeah.
Just for the fact of, I mean, they could have removed him from this movie for the most part, and it wouldn't. To me, it wouldn't have made much of a difference.
I think there was also themes of exploring sexuality in it, and he was kind of like he was there having sex with Needy, and she was thinking about
monsters.
And Jennifer and all that shit going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then like her panicking is kind of like him like glowing up like, oh shit, am I too big? And it's just kind of he's, I don't know, he's not a bad guy, but he's not
a good guy, but he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be honest with you. Like, there's been experiences in my lifetime where the ego will go before the concern, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Eventually, he kind of swapped around it and seemed more concerned, but a lot of it was like, what did I do? Like, how come you're freaking out? What did I do? And it's not like, what's wrong with it? It's that kind of, you're good, but you're not. You're not listening, I guess.
But it's like, if you're doing something and if you're doing something with someone and it sounds like it could be a little painful, if they're not telling you to stop and they're not saying no or giving you, like, they're not alerting you that something's wrong, then maybe you won't go to, well, they're stressing about this or that. Maybe it's
something wrong.
Yeah.
It's the kind
Is there something I'm doing?
Yeah, am I wrong in this? It's
and then
something I'm fucking up.
And it's a fucked up kind of a male perspective that we have to get some kind of credibility and self-worth that we're so big down there that, like, we're causing discomfort in one way or another.
Yeah, like that's a thing to want or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. I've never experienced that. I don't know. It's the movie was an interesting take from a different perspective, and I appreciated it.
Yeah. I think the comedy bits did okay. I think the horror bits did okay.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I wanted to bring up that I thought was funny too was when she killed Emo Boy in the house.
Yep.
How it did after she did all that, it flashed back to her like kneeling down and she was just like drinking from like a bowl. And she's like,
yeah.
I was like, I thought that part was pretty funny too. And like where she was eating, it was like, oh, she's like a wolf. She goes straight for the intestines. Got it.
Oh yeah, all the sweetbreads or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, another one of the buttholes thing. But yeah, it was a good movie. I really did dig it.
All right. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it a little bit, and I'm also. I was flipping through HBO Max and be like, I'm gonna have to get Lance to watch a movie. I saw this one pop up, and I remember that it was okay. I enjoyed it a little bit. I was curious if I would still enjoy it, but more importantly, I remember it getting fucking shit on for no good reason, and I just wanted to say, like, bring it up here and be like, it's good.
Well, maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to find movies that got like so. Uncharted was another movie that I remember when it came out. Like when it came out, people fucking shit all over it. That movie was good.
Yeah, we have a review of it. Go check it out.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to
try to find some movies that were shit on and see if it was that bad.
Yeah, like things that for one reason or another people are trying to assassinate straight out of the fucking box office. Maybe we need to start shedding some light on what we think. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not immune to people like coloring my fucking perspective, but I try to keep an open mind about things. So, yeah.
I mean, there's been plenty of... I mean, when they show you trailers or whatever, I mean, that's kind of the thing that's supposed to draw you in. Mm-hmm. And if they show you all the scenes and give you a bad context for it. Because, I mean, it's old on YouTube now, but there were all those, like, The Shining recut as, like, a romantic comedy, and this one recut as, like, a horror movie. And
right.
So that you can take shit, put spooky music on it and cut it in a different way. Mm-hmm. Or take it and put happy music on it and cut it in a different way.
I think somebody did it for Mrs. Doubtfire, and it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was a horror movie. That's what I'm thinking of. But essentially, you take the trailer, take the clips, and recut it in a certain way, and put a certain type of music on it, and you can make it seem like something it's absolutely not.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, if they did that with the Mrs. Doubtfire show, a horror movie, and you go and sit in the theater and you watch it, and you're like, what the fuck is this? I am a horror fan. I came to watch a horror movie, and it's a comedy.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right.
So they cut this one as a, hey, look, are you horny? Here's Megan Fox. And people walked in and were like, mirror, dear.
Yeah, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
And then even then, they should have loved it because it was double because fucking Amanda Seyfried is fucking hot, and you got to see her in a scene. So it's, I don't know what y'all are bitching about back then, but like, yeah, it's
good.
Maybe we need to start drilling through all that stuff.
And I just wanted to take a episode, shine a light on Jennifer's Body as a movie I think is worth a watch. And it's on HBO Max. Got HBO Max, go check it out.
Yeah.
Presumably have, because we talked about it.
Yeah.
But we didn't. I don't think we gave away major fucking plot points. Mostly it was about the general vibe and check out these cool scenes.
Yeah. I think we skirted around enough.
Yeah.
So, hey Nick.
Hey, what?
I have a movie for you, buddy.
Do you have to look up the name of it?
I do.
Because it's a long one.
It has 6 words in it.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
Not yet.
Okay.
Although that's one I wanted to see in the theater, but I didn't want to go to the theater. And it was also where like, hey, look, this is in the theater, and then it's out.
So that was one that I remember talking to you about, saying that I wanted to go see in the theater because.
And then like we talked about it one weekend to go see it, and then the next weekend it was out of theaters.
Yeah, it came and went pretty fast. I remember it came out, and I was like, I want to go see it, and you were like, not this week, and I was like, okay. And then the next week, I was like, do you want to go see it this week? And you're like, we'll try. And then we didn't end up seeing it that weekend, and then you were like, let's see where we could find it. And it was in one theater, and it was at like 10 o'clock at night on work nights.
Yeah.
And then it literally disappeared from the theaters, which is a thing that happened. I don't want to say anything more because I don't want to color it in one direction or another. But yeah.
So you have since had a chance to see it, and I have not.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then next month we will be talking about The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I can remember the name of it. In fact, he had to call me and be like, what's that movie?
I mean, I have trouble remembering.
Oh, yeah, you got dad brain. Yeah. And you talked to me about, like, after this, I really want to get you to watch this one. I'm like, cool, I've not seen that. Like, we shoot shit back and forth to each other to try to get some idea of things, and then he forgets them.
Not only that, but you don't know it right now, but you are literally watching a person descend into Alzheimer's. So, like, if you watch these series from, like, now to whenever we stop doing them, I'm pretty sure by one of the last videos, I'll be like,
who are you?
What are we watching again?
Get out of my house.
Did we watch a movie? Like, yeah, you're literally watching a person, like, go down a progressive track of Alzheimer's. So, Jackson, this is what happened to Daddy.
Yeah, you did. My brain. I got kid brain.
But, yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, join us next month for Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Unfortunately, I don't think it's streaming anywhere, but you can track it down.
Well, we might also do a quick review on the part 2 of this movie, Jessica's Booty. No, she's dead. Yeah, she did. She ain't come back.
Unbearable. Come on. Is it Stars with Prime Video channel?
Ooh. Everyone has stars.
Does anyone? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's fucking stars.
I guess Prime Video, if you have stars.
Come over here and we'll watch it.
Yeah, we'll watch it.
We'll watch it on Plex.
But I was trying to tell them somewhere you can watch it, and it's called Rent It.
It's got Pedro Pascal. If you've got Pedro Pascal fever right now, you'll find it.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal, Nick Cage.
Yeah. How can you miss?
Yeah, let's check it out. I want to see this one.
All right.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.